What's up, everybody? Trinity here, and welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. In today's comic book review, I am going to be reviewing Family Tree issue number 1. This book is being published by Image Comics. The writer here is Jeff Lemire, and the rest of them I'm going to have to guess. I'm guessing that the art is done by Phil Hester, the inks by Eric Gapster, with the colors done by Ryan Cody. Steve Wands is the letterer, and Will Dennis did I don't know what. And I'm going to tell you why I don't know that is because they have them all listed here at the on the title page there, and they don't say what each one of them done. But I mean, obviously I know Jeff Lemire is a writer, and I do know that Steve Wands is a letterer because I've read other books that he's lettered. So I'm just going to get that off the bat right there. And that's not a complaint about the book or anything. Hell, it's just the title page. And, I guess they just didn't want to give credit to the proper people here. I'm not sure what's up with that. So this book is kind of, it seems like it's really a post-apocalyptic future in which the world has somewhat ended, if not, a lot of the population has pretty much been decimated, but in a very unique way. And we don't really get exactly what happened in this book, other than we see the person who is narrating the story here, which I believe is this the main character here called Loretta, as she is talking kind of about the end of the world and how it came about, and just how people go out there and make a lot of take a lot of things, like prophecies and things, whether it be from the Bible or whatnot, that people look into and apply to our real world when they see things happening there, kind of those doomsday prophecy kinds of things. And, I'm sure we've seen plenty of those out there. But this book starts up with our main character here, Loretta, where she is working in like a supermarket, and she has some interactions with some customers there, and just kind of, if you've ever worked in an environment like that, you know how weird it can be sometimes. Just some of the different characters that you happen to meet when working at a place like that. And she goes out on a break, and while she's there out having her smoke break, she gets interrupted. It took a little bit long of a break, and somebody, one of her coworkers, goes out there and says that she has a phone call, and it's from her child's school. So she ends up going to pick up her daughter from school, who is obviously getting out of school at the time, and then she goes to the school to meet up with her son's principal at his school. And she's sitting there having this conversation, finding out exactly what happened with her son at school. And it turns out that he's been in trouble before. It seems like he doesn't seem like a troublemaker that we get out of this book, but it seems like he just keeps running into problems. And what had happened was he actually took some marijuana to school and got caught with it. And Loretta is sitting there having a conversation with the principal, and things kind of get out of hand as the principal just kind of makes some offhanded remarks. You don't make these kind of remarks to a parent about their child, especially in their personal lives, especially in front of a child, I guess you could say. I mean, the kid looks like he's in high school, so just some things debatable here. And while she's in there visiting with the principal, her daughter, who is sitting out in the hallway, is visited by a stranger in which she didn't know, who had given her this package and said that it would help. Now, the thing here that I failed to mention is that her youngest daughter, had gotten into the car when she picked her up from school and was complaining of an itch that she had on her arm, and that it was just kind of itchy, and just like any good mother says, just stop itching it, you're only going to make it worse. And I'll show you some of the art right here in the book, where some of that takes place. You can see right here where her arm is getting a little bit itchy there. So she's visited, and then they end up getting home, and they're sitting around having dinner, and this is seemingly the same day. It could be very well be the next day, and the mother is sitting there talking with her son, just kind of about just the things that he's been going through, and the daughter starts to complain even more about the itch on her arm, and now she says that it's spread to her back, and she's now itching on her back, and in which she decides to show her mother exactly what's going on here, and we can see that the itch on her arm actually got a lot worse. You can see her arm there is not doing very much better, and then what we run into later is that she's showing that the itch had spread to her back, and she's got this branch sticking out of her back too. I know, really weird stuff, and that's just some of the art that we get in this book. So she decides, Loretta decides to go ahead and take her daughter to the hospital, and as she's heading there to the hospital with her son and her daughter, they end up getting in this collision with a van. And then this wasn't it wasn't just happenstance, this collision. It looks like it was actually something that was planned. As they're coming to, she's asking her kids if they're all right, and these people step out of this van and begin to abduct them. And that's really where this first issue leaves off. This book was really good. I like the way it was written. The art in it, it's kind of got that, it's not too highly detailed in a lot of spots as you've seen, and in other spots it just, I don't know, just a lot of these things, like I've noticed in these kind of horror / post-apocalyptic type of books, really do a lot of art like this, and I think it serves the story well here. Altogether, I gotta say this book was pretty good. If you're into something like that, a post-apocalyptic future in which somebody is surviving and trying to make their way in this kind of a world, I think this is definitely a good start to a story that to get into this series. I'm not sure if this is going to be an ongoing series or if it is just like a 5-6 issue limited series. But again, some of the things we get in here, it's called Family Tree, and the girl has the itch. She's kind of got these properties of turning into a tree, and that's something that we see kind of playing throughout the landscape, throughout the story, as we see just a couple of glimpses of this futuristic of this world that's going on, post-apocalyptic world, I guess you could say. Altogether, I thought it was a pretty good book. I think it's something, if you're into these kinds of stories, and it's something typical kind of, I guess, out of the publisher, like Image Comics. Altogether, I thought it was a good book. I think it's one that you guys, you may want to check out if you're into these kind of stories. But let me know down in the comments below. Did you read Family Tree? If so, what did you think about it? Let's talk down in the comments below. That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down if you don't like it, which is just weird to me because I'm just talking about comic books here, guys. And while you're at it, make sure that you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Happy reading, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.